Just a windy day. Some whitecaps out there. Right now I'm decided it's mid-October. Usually we have a freeze by now. Haven't had a freeze yet. But I came up here this weekend to winterize the cabin, at least get rid of the water, take the water out, or clean out the water system rather. So what I'm doing now is I just opened up this valve, draining all the water out. What I'm gonna have to do is then pull these pipes out of the water, because I don't want the ice to mess with my lines. Pull the pipes out of the water, take the foot valves out so the lines drain out. I'll drain out my pump. And again, what this is doing here with this being open is it's just draining all of the water that's been built up inside this pipe. All the way up to the top is coming back down, running out. And it looks like we're pretty much out at this point. All right, so winterizing the main lines is easy enough. I got the lines pulled out of the water there. They're gonna sit there on that rock bluff all winter. And then you just, as easy as pulling out a couple foot valves. This is just a screen I have over the main valve, just to keep it even a little bit cleaner. But pulled my 2 foot valves out, and I just gotta pull a plug or 2 on the pump, and that's it. All right, the pump here has 1 bolt that has to be taken out. So there's a little bolt right here, and that is essentially the drain for anything that's left in the bottom of the pump. And so just a couple turns, and then the thing should come out by hand. We've got all the pressure out. Everything is out on the bottom of the pump, bottom of the lines. A little bit of water in the pump yet. Let that clean itself out. And that should do it. That's all the water that's inside the pump. And then I like to take this. I want to make sure not to lose this. Last year I set it here and something happened. It was hard to find it. So I'm just going to put it, I've got a bucket right here that I keep all my winterized stuff in. Just at the end of the day, it's just a bunch of hose clamps I got to pull off and connections. So I'll put this top back on. Okay, I got my top on. This is my rock to hold it down. These 2. And that will be good enough to survive through the winter. This thing shouldn't have any water left because I pulled the line, so just gotta get all the water out of there so we don't have any cracking. We'll put these 2 guys here inside this bucket, just like that. And then we'll hang the bucket up here, cover up our switch. Ooh, I do have a cap for this. I gotta get the cap so it doesn't get crap in there. But other than that, you know what I'll do? Actually, I'll just put this here. There. It'll keep it clean, and that won't go anywhere. We main system's winterized now, so easy peasy. I just gotta go winterize the rest of the cabin. Catch my breath from hiking up the trail. Winterizing this is easy enough. I just have to disconnect these 2, or I leave them connected, I guess, and I could pull what I'll probably do is just pull the hose clamps off. That's even easier. Same thing here. Take the filter out, disconnect that. The one challenge or thing to be, I guess, wary of is because the pipe goes like this and then goes down and then over, it could potentially trap water, in the middle of the pipe. Usually what I do is I just give it a good blow, pressurize it, air pressure, and that cleans it out. Last year, I'll show you this hole. I got it here somewhere. Last year, yeah, here it is. It's still there. I winterized everything except for this. So what happened with this was I left this shut instead of open. And so it trapped water. Here, maybe you see better like this. It trapped water in this part. And what ended up happening was the water funneled down here, and then it got vapor locked in here. And then what actually ended up happening is we came back in the spring, and the connection point, it's the exact same one we have here. So you can look at this. Like, you see this connection here? That's where it burst. And it just literally busted this whole thing out. Just busted out. So we came back in the spring and this was laying here like this. But it's just crazy how water works like that. I mean, or how ice works like that. But so what I'll probably do is I'll disconnect everything. And then what I'll do is I'll literally just keep this shut. I'll blow into the end where the spigot is. And that will push all the extra water out. Works like a charm. I've done it for a number of years in a row. All right, so we're just going to disconnect these hose clamps. A couple little turns, easy peasy. Here and here. There's some pressure on the system. I should probably release the pressure first. This side is not pressurized, so this will come right out after I get the hose clamp off. There's the hose clamp. Doesn't this, I think this should just come off. No. Yeah, there we go. Little vacuum there. I'll just take the hose clamp and I guess I could just leave it. I usually take it off. This side still has pressure, so there's a pressure release here. I can just do that, let all the pressure out. All right. So I'll just connect this side. Same thing. Pull it back. This is high pressure hose here. Not quite as flexible. There we go. This guy just takes a special wrench, fits right in over these grooves, and should be just simple. Little turn. It's loose. Out comes the filter. That will drain it out. Chuck this filter. That's all the crap from the lake. Put that in my bucket. Garbage. And I'm just going to disconnect this here too because I don't want to trap any water in the system. All right, we'll listen to the pump now that it doesn't have any water in it. You hear a little gurgling. Sounds like we got most of it. Little gurgling. I'll let it sit for a little bit and run it again, just in case. All right, so we're just going to disconnect this. That valve is closed. That's not going to let any air out there. The only place it's open now is the back end. So if I simply open this up and I give it a blow, it should drain everything out the other side. Let's see what happens. Success, we've officially cleaned that line out. Of course, there'll be a little bit of water that settles in the bottom pipe, but as long as there's not a lot of water in there, it'll be just fine. It'll have room to expand. I've been thinking about this. I should put like a relief, like a spigot or something on the bottom to open it up, to drain the whole thing entirely. But the way I figure it is, if it bursts at some point, I mean, I'll have to cut it anyways to put a piece in there, right? So if it bursts at some point, then I'll just do it then. This line here has not been winterized yet. Still, it's full of water. We're going to spend another couple weekends up here this year, which means we're going to have to pull lake water up by hand. And so, I mean, the water in there, even if we get a little freeze, that's not going to burst that tank. I mean, we need a deep, deep freeze for something to happen. It still probably wouldn't. This hose is flexible, so nothing will happen there. If anything, this PVC fitting would go, but I want to get a brass one anyways. So as you can see, getting the water system figured out took a lot of time. Gone through a lot of different fittings. I got a whole plumbing store in here of different types of fittings, hose clamps, etc. that I've tinkered with to make the water system work. But the system as it is now works really, really well. So I'm happy with that. Can't forget the seal. And that will be good till next year.